Flora Sage here. Sorry. I just got a cough like right in mid-sentence. Flora Sage here, your spiritual business coach and mentor. So recently I have gotten a ton of questions asking what books am I reading currently and to make recommendations for books. And so I have a couple viewpoints on this that I want to share with you today in this video. And one of my viewpoints is when someone asks me, what books do you recommend? One of the things that I always ask them back is, well, what do you want to get out of a book? Like, what are you looking for in a book? Are you looking for business stuff? Are you looking for sales stuff? Are you looking for marketing stuff, like mindset stuff? What's the purpose of you reading the book? And they're just like, well, I don't know, like, what book are you reading? And I'm just like, well, I read a lot of different books, but a lot of the books that I read are on repeat. And so if you are asking someone for a book recommendation, make sure that you have in mind what type of book you're looking for. Typically, when someone picks up a book and they look at the title and it's kind of a self-help book, it's typically filling a gap that you feel that you have, that you want to learn how to do something better. Like if you want to work on your mindset. Anything that is from Esther and Abraham Hicks, anything that's from Earl Nightingale, anything that is from W. Clement Stone, anything. I mean, I love the classics, but if you want a book on how to have more confidence in your day, in everything, I would recommend the book called Presence by Amy Cuddy. Fabulous, fabulous book. If you want a book on selling, I would recommend, I've totally spaced the name and it's in the other room. It's something fanatic, sales fanatic or something, selling fanatic. Shoot. Anyway, this isn't a video about what books I want to recommend to you. It's basically, I'm really recommending that you get very clear and specific on why you want to read the book, what you want to get out of it. I've also had a couple people say that one of their goals for this year is to read a book a week and also a book a month. And I asked them why. And they said, well, I just want to get as many books as possible, under my belt so that I have all the information, yada, yada. And I'm just like, well, why don't you, instead of doing that, because I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, if you want to just throw random knowledge at you and see what sticks, go for it. But what might be better use of your time is to get very clear on what do you feel is the number one thing that's lacking in your life or your business. Find a very highly rated book around that and then read the book and master the book. So not just read it once, but read it once, listen to it, read it again, underline stuff, highlight stuff, and actually put it into practice in your life. Because what happens when you read a book, you're just reading the book, and so many times people read a book and they're like, oh yeah, this was so good. And they set it down and then they read another book and they're like, yeah, this was awesome. And they set it down and then they read another book and they're like, that was okay. Then they set it down and then they still have the same problem. They still have the same issue in their life that all of these books just gave them solutions. They just gave them ways to address whatever it is that they're going through, but they didn't put it into action. So I actually had one of my clients reach out to me several weeks ago and she asked me about mindset and money books. And she told me the books that she had recently read. And I was just like, well, if you've read all of these books, there's enough stuff in there to keep you busy for years. Basically in shifting your mindset and in actions that you can take to remedy money woes and mindset woes. And she was like, oh, you know what? You're right. I'm going to go back and I'm going to actually make a study of XYZ book. And I was like, perfect. And so I don't think that, if you just want a whole bunch of knowledge and not retain all of it unless you have like an eidetic memory or like a, photographic memory. That's a different story. But I would highly recommend that you start to think about what you really have going on and what you really want to find a solution for. If you have debt and money woes, start researching money. Start to learn and study about money. Start to, learn about investing. Start to learn about debt. Start to learn about mutual funds, compounding interest, retirement, all this stuff. Start to actually educate yourself so you know what to do with your money. If you want to learn about sales, I think the book is called Sales Fanatic. The book that I couldn't remember the name about. If you want to learn about sales, find the top rated sales books on Amazon and start to study those. What do they have in common? What things do you know? What things do you not know? What things are you actually putting into practice? And start to be very intentional and very strategic about the things that you're consuming. If you want to learn about quantum physics or quantum healing, anything by Joe Dispenza, check it out. I mean, he's got, workshops, he has meditations, he has all kinds of really amazing things at the ready. And so start to really be intentional with why you're reading and what you're reading and what you hope to get out of it. What lack do you feel that you have, like lack in your knowledge base, do you feel that you have that you want to fill in the gap with a book? All right. So with that said, when I'm not reading self-help, I am listening to comedy books like by Kevin Hart or Chelsea Handler or Amy Poehler or any of the other amazing comedians out there. I love comedy books. I freaking love it. I love to laugh. That's like one of the things that's my jam. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what I would recommend. And I don't recommend that you try to just barrel through as many books as possible, because to me, in my opinion, you're just kind of wasting your time. And I know because I've tried this before, it doesn't work because you've got so much information coming in and you're like, oh, that was really good and that was really good and that was really good, but you're not putting it into action. And so when you can be very mindful and very intentional and say, okay, this is what I'm hoping to get out of this book, or this is what I'm thinking that I'm lacking in my business or my life. So now let me search and find some books, read the reviews, find one or two that are really just on point with the description, with the reviews, that are really in alignment with what I'm looking for and what I need right now in my life or my business, and do that. And I always get it's not called Books on Tape anymore. I always get the audio book first. And if I'm going, oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh, yes. Yes. As I'm listening to it, I actually buy the physical book, and then I can highlight it and underline it and dog-ear the pages and all this other stuff, because I'm one of those people. I am one of those people. But that's how I learn, is by listening, and also by really allowing myself to integrate those things into my life. And so, and also into my business. And there's been some books where I've listened to and I've heard this stuff before, and for some reason it just clicks and I can integrate it right away into my life because I've heard it so many times. So, that's my recommendation. I work with entrepreneurs and people all the time. I've been working with people for over 22 years. And this is the one thing that just holds true, is that most people feel that they could use a little bit of a boost in some form or fashion in their life with a book or an audio book. And most people feel that they have something that they're lacking that they could maybe use some help on. So, but don't waste your time reading as many books as possible without the intention of, or basically without intention, okay? So I hope that this helps you. I know this is kind of a random video, but I've just gotten so many emails and so many private messages over the last couple weeks that I really thought that I wanted to address this, because this is important. I mean, as an entrepreneur, as someone just with a life, I don't want you wasting time. Time freedom is one of the things that most people are lacking. Most people don't have enough time during the day to do those things that they want to do. And if you're listening to books that aren't going to better you and aren't going to help you move forward in your life or in your business, why bother, granted, that's if you're just reading like the self-help stuff, you know, the comedy books and all that other stuff. That's just, for me, that's a very fulfilling type book or use of my time. So I hope that this helps you. And I hope that now, after listening to this, you are more intentional in the books that you listen to or read for your personal life and or for your business, so that, you know, you don't waste your time and you actually can figure out beforehand what you really want to get out of the book and what you're hoping to receive from it, and that you save some time in doing so. All right, I love you, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Bye.